And now we're moving to another exceptional woman, Rayna Mitkova. She is managing director of the two subsidiaries of German EOS Group in Bulgaria, EOS Matrix and EOS Services. She has been president of the Association of the Collection Agencies in Bulgaria since its founding. Hello, nice to see you. Nice to see you. She has over 15 years of management experience in the international business development, strategic planning in the field of debt management, consulting, and software. So, Rayna, which are the post-COVID lessons that you believe we have learned?
Well, maybe it's too early to say what we have learned from this really extraordinary situation, and the pandemic is by far not over still. But there are a few things we captured as management for the last 2 months, which I would like to share with the audience, and it's my real pleasure being here with you. So I will elaborate a bit on the subject of digitalization and what does it mean for us as companies and as consumers, especially facing this really challenging situation. Change is the only constant in life. Does it resonate with you? We are living in dynamic and even scary times. It's the opposite of our comfort lives before marriage, even though we were not even aware how well we were living. Great macroeconomic perspectives, company sales booming, personal income in the rise. Not to mention we were able to travel, to kiss and hug people in the street, and even to have our coffees in and outside. Even in those beautiful times, digitalization was a very trendy. The facts first. Internet availability in Bulgaria. I've been traveling a lot before marriage, and believe me, Bulgaria is the paradise on earth for internet. We have very speedy internet for no cost, literally at every corner. But despite this luxury, it seems as consumers we are not fully using it, not to mention services like internet banking or even mobile banking. So in contrast to what Elena presented just a few minutes ago for SMEs, we as consumers, especially in Bulgaria, are lacking behind. A very good example here is our e-government in Bulgaria. Non-existing, right, despite all the big words and the big money invested. In my perspective, the culture, and specifically for businesses, the corporate culture, provides the fundamentals, the prerequisites of being digital. And when I say digitalization, digitalization is synonymous for me for innovation, synonymous for change. Digital means not only fast and more convenient, but also open, transparent, ready to trust, ready to change. And if the leadership either of a country or a company is not convinced and living with those values, they're not deeply embedded into the corporate culture, no matter how talented IT guys you have or money you invest, you will not be digital. Let me tell you a story. For the last 18 years, I'm managing one of the biggest receivables management companies in Bulgaria. We are the mediator between the creditor and their client in debt to find a solution often in a very difficult financial situation. Our main weapon is communication, and we are communicating mainly over the phone. So we really have a large call center. So what do you think when you hear call center? It's a crowded place, right? Is it COVID-19 safe working place? Definitely not. I'm very keen on technology, maybe because I'm married to a very talented software engineer. And in the company, we have a very robust and up-to-date IT infrastructure. VPNs, artificial intelligence, robots, you name it, we have it. And despite this luxury, I've been asking for years how to make our call center agents work from home. We have many young people working for us, still studying, they need flexibility. We have mothers with young kids who often should stay at home because the kids are sick. And it will be beneficial for us and also for them if they will be able to work just a few hours from their homes. So the answer was always no. No, because of IT security. No, because of any other various reasons. So guess what happened when the emergency situation March 13 was declared in Bulgaria? Management administration staff, more or less equipped with mobile devices, we quickly packed and cleared our desk and went home. VPNs established, laptops purchased in the file, and literally in 2 hours we were able to work from a home office mode. But the call center stayed. They stayed in the office, working in shifts, in strange working hours to avoid the rush hours in public transportation and to ensure there's enough distance between our people. But still in the office. So a few days passed, and me and my partner, we kept asking our IT and operational guys how to make the call center work from home. And we were even considering stop working for a while until we find a suitable solution. So one day, after heated discussions, our IT director finally told us, well, technically this is possible, but I doubt the operational management will agree on that. We turned to the operational management and the answer was indeed no. No, because we cannot control the people. No, because if they're sitting home, they can start talking any kind of stupid things over the phone to our clients, and this will be a huge reputational risk. The latter meant especially to me because they know I'm very reputational sensitive. To be honest, I was shocked and really furious. Not to mention trust is one of our fundamental values in the company, but because I thought they were missing something really important here. And don't get me wrong, these are my people, carefully selected, grown up within the company, and I really love them. But what I told them, and I really meant it, was exactly that. Guys, this is not about reputation. It is about the life and the well-being of our people. Why do you think they're not accountable, grown-up people who could work productively from their homes? And what else do we need? Calls recording, calls monitoring, any kind of technical tools to follow up on them, to help and support if needed. And at the end of the day, this is simply not fair. We are sitting safely home and they have to travel into work from the office. So what followed was a true moment of enlightenment when the corporate culture and the technology clicked. So in just a few days, we were able to take out of the office all our call center agents, around 200 people, and to give them the opportunity to work from home. So now we're still working from home with no clear plans to come back to the office until the risk is still high. Productivity is very high. Some of our colleagues, including myself, are even more productive while working from home. And company results are even better than expected for those challenging times. And if you ask me how we did achieve it, there's no simple answer. But what helped us a lot was the very frequent, very open and very honest communication. We actually told them that we were terribly afraid everybody was working from home because we cannot control them. But we were still doing this because we care for them and because we trust them. And if we can promise one thing as a leadership, that would be that we'll be doing everything possible and impossible to sustain the company and to keep their working places safe. And we would require nothing in return but just to put their best efforts like they did before. This provoked really a huge engagement in the company, and it was like promise from both sides. So far, so good. Both sides were keeping our promises. And to come to the end of my presentation, do you see, by the way, the presentation? So now on. Like said in the beginning, I still think it's too early to say what we have learned. That only 2 months passed, and the only clear thing is that the pandemic situation is fundamentally shifting all our aspects of our lives, and most probably we will never be able to come back to what we called the normal life before March. But still, as a leader, what I have learned for the last 2 months is that controlling perception for the last years, but now it cannot
Rayna, sorry. Rayna,
can do
if you can hear me, and unfortunately your internet is playing games again. Can you hear us now?
again, yeah.
Perfect. Now you're
Yes,
okay.
yes, I can hear
Okay.
you. Yeah.
Okay,
And do you
perfect.
hear me at least? Okay. So I'm sorry about my internet, but that's what it's the opposite of what I was saying about the paradise of internet in Bulgaria. Sometimes it simply doesn't work. What I was saying is that as leadership, we have to be clear that the only thing we can do with our people, especially working in a distance working mode, is that we can inspire them. And this doing it only by standing for what we say. And here comes what I believe is the true role of a leader: to create a great working environment. A working environment where people feel happy, feel taken care of, they feel safe, and only this way they can really put their maximum effort. And that's actually the only reason why in business we are so obsessed about corporate culture. We're talking about mission, vision, values. They all hang on the walls of our empty offices now. But it's a very simple reason for that. We are all human beings, so we want to see the meaning of what we are doing on a daily basis. Most of us, we want to change the world for a good, and to do it with a group of people where we feel we belong, where we feel trust, we feel love, we feel taken care of. And only such kind of environment we can really grow to our maximum potential and produce extraordinary results. And this can make the difference. Especially in time of crisis, this can make the difference which companies will survive and which die. So to come to my main point before the internet disappears again, even the most expensive and modern IT infrastructure cannot make you digital. If not the people in the company are ready for that, and they want to be digital, and they want to change. So all these fancy words we're using all the time: digitalization, innovation, change, they're only possible if embedded into the corporate culture, and this cannot happen for a night. So is your corporate culture fit for the change? Thank you for your attention.
Thank you so much, Rayna. It's really interesting to know if the corporate culture is ready for this huge change. Actually, it was obvious that part of the business was pretty prepared, and they really fast started with these remote offices and communication and all those meetings we have. What happened actually in your business, in your office? You're managing actually two companies here in Bulgaria.
So actually we represent the call center industry, and we are not a typical, how to say, representative of the IT industry where all people are mobile and they could just work in an instant from home. So our industry is considered to be quite robust, so we will be always working from the office. So that's why my ideas to make the call center agents work from home sound always very exotic. But because we were talking very often in our industry through the association, so I'm really proud that most of my colleagues, they were really able to offer this opportunity to our colleagues, and to be able to work in a distant working mode. So more or less we were also in the trend. Because as the picture said, the call center is not the best working environment, especially in a pandemic situation. You are sitting very close to your colleagues, so working from home, it's really a good option. And what we actually found out is that our colleagues really like it. So being mainly in the communication business, they're very sociable people, but they really appreciate it. They are now in facing this situation. They can work from home, talking to their colleagues of Microsoft Teams or Zoom or whatever, just maintain the relationship, but being safe in a home working environment.
And I can see your expertise in debt management here. And these days, countries, actually, it's not only about business, it's not only about corporate part of this, but it's governments as well.
Yeah.
What is the biggest lesson you have in your mind for debt management? What we should have in mind?
Oh, that's actually a very good question. So, especially in times like this, we are all cost sensitive. So, as a business, we tend to do everything by ourselves, not to focus on the core business, but to do IT, debt collection, etc., etc. And this really wastes a lot of resources. So, what I truly recommend and what we saw was kind of a bad practice from the previous crisis, 2008, 2010, was that companies who outsource and rely on specialists like us, they really do well. They can collect their debt really quickly. And the companies who tried to do it by self were not always very successful. So the main lesson for me here is just to focus on our core business. In our case, we collect money really in an ethical, in a very effective way. We are not doing accounting. We are not doing anything else. So, and that's really a good recipe for overcoming any kind of crisis.
Thank you so much. Before we continue with Liliana Pavlova, I would like to inform you that we need to refresh the room as to be able to continue this interesting discussion. So it will take just a few seconds and all of us will be together again.